Hello, my dear ones. Welcome to this yoga practice. We're going to do some work on the upper body and breath today. So we're going to begin seated. We're going to do a little bit of work opening up the arms and shoulders, and you might want a yoga belt or a stretchy band like a TheraBand. If you don't have it, just omit that. You'll be able to do it without. Once you're seated, let's take a breath together. We're going to bring it in through the nose, and then let it out slow and soft through the mouth. If you happen to close your eyes, like I often do when I breathe, just open your eyes. And then we're going to go right into a side bend, and this is where the belt or TheraBand is optional. So as you lean over to the right, you're going to put your hand on the ground. If you're using a belt, anchor that down. And then you're going to pull up with your left hand on the belt. So if you don't have a belt, no big deal. Just lean to the side, take a side bend. Now we're going to add a little bit of movement here. So we're going to rotate to the left, and we're going to open the chest and push that left hand back behind the plane of the spine. And then we'll do that a few times. So we're going to come around to face front, and we're going to bring that left arm forward. And then you're rotating left, turning the head, turning the gaze. So it's just a little rotation. And as you pull back with that top arm, it should feel like it's beginning to open your chest and shoulder a little bit, especially if you're using a band. Again, no worries if not. Just think of that line across the front of the left arm and chest stretching. So let's do that one more time. Good. When you come back around, you're going to twist to the right. And then you're just gonna, if you have a band, you're just gonna drop that end down. You're gonna put your left hand down, kind of off by your knee, back your right hand up so you're kind of straddling your leg more evenly. And then push and pull with your hands to help do a bit of rotation. So you're angling your torso slightly down toward your knee, toward your leg, and you're twisting around to the right. And then while you're here, just hold that. And allow your left hip to drop down so that you open the left side of your waist, into which you can take a slow, steady inhale and a satisfying exhale. When you sit back up, you're going to take that right hand, you're going to go thumb down, and you're going to bring your hand behind your back. So you can hold it if you want with your other hand, just an option, or you just can have it resting there. It's up to you. In either case, whatever you're doing with that arm that's behind you, it's kind of pressed against your back, so it looks kind of something like this, or maybe like this. You're gonna tip your head away from that arm, so over to the left. And as your head tips left, as it leans away, you're going to stay with it leaning, but you're going to nod yes a few times. And if it's causing any kind of pain, like it's an intense feeling that's not a good intense, just stop tipping your head so far over, just less tip. Smaller movement, something like that. And find kind of a neutral plane. I mean, it's tipped to the left still, but it's face upright. And then rotate your head so that your nose is pointing toward your left shoulder and you're kind of looking down past your arm. Okay, release that. Change your leg cross if you're sitting cross-legged. You could always do that kneeling. And we'll do this all on the second side. So if you're using the belt, grab it, pin it. If you have a long one, you kind of have to hold that tail out of the way so it doesn't hit you in the face. And then kind of step one is just, we're doing a side bend. And maybe you don't have a belt and you're just hanging out in the side bend for a moment. If you have a belt, you can kind of pull up with your right hand and push down with your left. It's just opening that right side body. And then we're going to add the kind of rotational piece that's going to help open the shoulder and chest a little bit. So you're going to turn to the right. And as you rotate, you're going to push that top arm back behind your head so that it opens the front of your chest. So let's do that 3 times. That was 1, we have 2 more to go. So you're gonna rotate back to forward-ish, and then rotate out, right, pushing right hand back behind the plane of the shoulder. Trying to get a chest stretch inside of the bicep, upper arm kind of thing. Just explore that movement one more time for yourself. And when you come back, you're gonna twist around to the left. You can drop the belt if you have it, and then back your left hand up a little closer to your knee. So you're sort of partially upright, but partially leaning forward toward your left knee. You're gonna push down with your left hand, twist your belly around to the left, and then drop your right hip toward the ground so that the hips are more anchored. See if you can relax into that right side of your waist, kind of the back of your waist, back of your ribs. Maybe even send a breath there as if to expand that part of your waistline. It's just above your waist, really. Okay, come up. Left hand behind the back. You can hold it with your right hand if you want, that's optional. And then tip your head over to the right side. Once you have it tipped over there, you're gonna nod yes. Yes, universe, I receive this beautiful stretch. And remember, if it's too intense, it's causing you to kind of grip or hold your breath, just either back out of the tipping of the head to the side or make the movement smaller. And then you're gonna keep your head kind of face upright at first, tipped over to the right, but rotate. So nose is toward right shoulder now. Just holding there, looking kind of past your shoulder down toward the ground and letting the left side of your neck and shoulders open. Release all of that. Now you can put your belt to the side. We're going to use it for one more thing in a moment, but for now, come to all fours and start to walk your feet and knees toward the back of your mat with your hips right up above your knees. Walk your hands forward and dip your head toward the mat. So we're coming into puppy pose. It's kind of a kneeling version of dog pose. So straighten your elbows. Lift up your belly, your waist, so your low back is supported. And see if you can drop the chest without letting the belly sag. So just play between those two. A little lift in the belly, straight arms. Soften the chest, right around the heart, upper back toward the floor. Maybe the head makes it down, maybe not. And when you're at kind of like the end of that range, where like if you went farther, you would drop your belly out or something, you would collapse in your arms, just hold there. We'll take 3 breaths in through the nose, and this time out through the nose. In through the nose, full breath. Slow, controlled exhale out through the nose. Last time. Pick up your head, walk your hands back, come on back to all fours. And then we're gonna thread the needle. So you're gonna take your right hand, can't see with my hair, behind your left wrist, drop that right shoulder to the mat. Side of the head's gonna come down initially, and then you're gonna kind of tuck your chin so that you end up a little bit more toward the back of your head. I like to lift the left elbow up so I can kind of look through that window between my arms and push with your left hand. Twist your spine. push your hips slightly to the right so that you have them in check. They're not just leaning off to the side. They'll tend to go left. And again, a breath into the back ribs, side ribs, wherever you can. Inhale, come up. Step forward, right foot. Sweep the right arm forward, up and around in a twist. So we're going to rotate the chest, much like we did before. We're going to take that right hand back a little behind the line of the chest and head. So kind of exaggerating that like openness in the chest. As you twist to the right, lean your head back, open the chest and peel it away from your right knee. So it's a twist and it's a little bit of a back bend. If it's hurting in your neck or head, just look forward or look down. Find a place for your head where you can really get a sense of opening without having pain. Unravel your twist. Step right leg back. Thread the needle with the left arm. So left hand comes down behind right wrist, then the shoulder, then the head. Boop, there it goes. And then you're going to take your right hand, I like kind of fingertips with the elbow up in the sky. You're going to tip your chin in and then twist so you're kind of looking past your right armpit up toward the ceiling, the sky. Check that your hips aren't swaying way right. Push them left a touch. And press down with your right hand and twist your chest, but not so far that you can't breathe. Big breath through the nose, whatever you can manage, don't force it. Let it go. And come out of the twist. Step the left leg forward. Rotate with the left arm leading up and around to the left. So as you twist, you're going to press the left shoulder and left hand back and then curl your head and chest back away from your left leg. So you're twisting and you're leaning back and you're trying to open the front of your body. If it hurts your neck, readjust your head. You know this already, I'm just reminding you. Good work. Untwist. Okay. And then take dog pose. Step back with that left foot. And whatever you learned in your puppy pose variation, just put that in. You can always repeat puppy pose, but theoretically here, you can do the same work. Just lift a little bit in your waist. Move your chest toward your knees. And those two things are kind of opposites. So you're just doing what you can to balance them. And then 3 breaths. When you hit that sort of edge, focusing again on the slow, steady movement of air in and out, not letting it kind of gasp through you, but controlling it so it's a long, even flow. When your 3rd breath is done, just tiptoe your feet forward and come into a forward bend with your knees bent. Spine's going to dangle down for a moment. Head's going to dangle down. Let's get a stretch in the legs and the back. A little softness in the knees. Nothing too sharp about the pose. And if your belt is near you, you can grab that so that when you stand up, you have it. And then you're going to bend your knees even more. Let your arms dangle. Let your head dangle. Roll up one bone at a time through your spine. Bring your head up last so you don't get too dizzy. You can adjust your pants. And then come upright with your head. Okay. Now, if you don't have a belt, you could use a scarf for this or some kind of towel. So you're going to take your arms like a Y shape when you're standing. And then once you're standing, you're going to kind of pull your hips and waist back. And then you're going to reach back behind. And when you get to that sort of tight spot, like behind the head and shoulders, woo, where you want to go really fast because it's intense, just go slow. Go slow, go slow. Hands come down. And then we'll pass through that again. So do that 3 times, checking that you're not popping forward in your hips or your ribs or your head. Now, if you don't have a belt, let me show you an option. If you do have one or a TheraBand, do that again. But if not, you could just put your hand on a wall and sort of turn your chest away from the wall, straight arm, and you're just targeting that part of your chest and arm again. So that's your choice if you don't want to use a belt or you don't have a belt. Good. Okay, we're done with belt. Set that to the side. And then we'll do one more thing standing here. So what we're gonna do to start with is we're gonna take the right leg behind the left. I'm gonna come forward on my mat actually, like so. It's a little bit offset, but what we're trying to do is create a curved line by side bending. So as you side bend over to the left side, you're bending your left knee, right foot's behind, that whole right side of your body is gonna open. We're gonna take the right arm up and over to start with. And then we're gonna switch the arms. So we're gonna stay in the side bend, take the right hand down, put it on your hip, use your left hand right over the top of your head, pull to the left. Can be a little disorienting having your head over to the side with your side bend. So let's take the head out first so we get stable. Then you can straighten the front knee, step out, change legs. Okay, so left foot behind right. And all we're trying to do here is exaggerate the side bend by moving the foot to the side. When we then bend to the right, you can do that now, it increases that curve of side body. So as you go to the side, you're gonna take the left arm up initially. So this might be all you wanna do. Maybe that's enough and you don't like that head tilt thing. But if you do, windmill the arms to the other way, left hand on the hip, right hand comes over top of head, adding a little weight to tip your head over to the side. Just bending into the front knee, drawing the waist back, getting that big stretch along the whole left side of your body. Remember, we're gonna go head first. So hand off, head up, legs straight, torso up, and then get out of there. Then as you stand, you're gonna reach all the way up overhead on an in-breath. We're just making our way back to the floor. So as you exhale, bend your knees a little bit, lean forward, take the hands down. Again, a soft version of a forward fold. So knees bent, spine relaxed. And this time when you breathe in, you're gonna lift your gaze, look forward, plant your hands, and we'll take dog pose one more time. So I'll let you settle into it. When you get there, take your 3 attentive breaths, paying attention to how you breathe. Whenever your 3rd breath is done, just put your knees down on the mat and take a moment in child's pose to just, transition slowly. Those slow transitions, mindful transitions are kind of part of what can help us de-stress and be resilient. It's not like we have to just be totally present 100% of the time. Sometimes we have to pivot from one thing to another. And it's the presence to pivot, to pause and transition that can help us, not just the internal world stuff. All right, we're gonna do one more little practice for breathing, and it would be useful if you could prop your torso up on like a folded blanket or a pillow, just so that the chest is open to make breathing a little bit easier. I'm doing it with a kind of a double blanket setup here, just so my head is a touch higher. But you can do it with whatever. You could do it flat. It's just a little, I think it's nice to just have a lift in the chest. So whatever you're gonna do with that, you're gonna sit in front of it and lie back on it, or just lie down on the ground if you're choosing not to use those props. And just make sure you're comfortable there. All we're really trying to do is to get a lift in the chest and let the shoulders rest back so that the lungs are more open. That's all this is about, this little prop. So don't worry if you don't have that. You can either rest your hands out to the side, place them on your body somewhere, whatever you want. Close your eyes. The reason we close the eyes when we do little breath work is so we can better focus inward. Remember, sometimes we focus outward. We can't just always be present inward. It's just not possible. We work in the world, but now we are going to focus inward. So as you sit here with eyes closed, listen to the sound of your breath. If you can't hear it, that's okay. We're going to make it audible in a minute, but for right now, if you can hear it, good. And if not, feel it. Feel it lift your chest when you breathe in. And feel how when you exhale, the ribs and chest kind of draw in and down. So do this with me for maybe another 30 or 40 seconds. Just normal breathing, listening or feeling what's happening. Now with your next inhale, we're going to take kind of a double inhale to get a little bit more full. It'll sound like this. So when you're ready, you'll sort of divide your inhale, the same inhale, into two kind of quick bursts. When you get full of air, pause, hold. And then exhale slowly out your mouth like you're sighing or fogging up a glass. And then take a normal breath in, so not the broken inhale, hold, just inhale, exhale. And then we'll repeat. 2 bursts in, hold, exhale. Regular breath, no holding, no broken parts, no double parts. And then again, 2 inhales, pause, slow exhale. Normal breath through the nose. Out the nose. No double inhale this time, just a full inhale, as full as you can make it. In. Hold, hold, hold. Through the nose, exhale. Do that 2 more times. No pausing between, just breathe in. To capacity. Hold, hold, calm yourself down, just hold full. Exhale through the nose, slow and steady. Okay, last one. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Go all the way empty. Pull in your belly, push all the air out. Hold, hold, hold. Relax your belly and breathe. Normal breath. No holding. Just relaxing now for just a moment longer, doing nothing at all with the breath, but letting it be. You're welcome to stay here as long as you like. And I would just suggest that you periodically or at some point check in with, how do you feel? How are you? How you doing? And then when it does come time to reawaken and move, to just go slow. That transition, remember, we've been attending to the inner world and we're pivoting to the outer world again. So maybe you open your eyes, see where you are, and you begin to focus outwardly as you move, as you stretch, and as you eventually find your way back to sitting. You can pause for a moment sitting again, just so you're not rushing yourself off to the next thing. If you like breath practices, you want to learn some more, I'll just pop up a link up top here for an Ujjayi kind of basic seated practice for you. Either way, I hope you're doing well, and I wish you happy holidays and lots of love.